Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Chris, and in today's video we're going to be reviewing this 2004 BMW M3, this week's episode of the Sunday Drive. Let's take it out for a spin. Alright guys, what's going on? We're in this beautiful E46 M3 and there's plenty of stuff done to it right now, so we're going to basically take it out for a drive, and Brent here is going to tell us a little bit about what's done to the car. There's definitely plenty of aftermarket stuff, and it's really a beautiful, clean car, so we'll take it out for a spin, and he can talk to us about what's going on with it and basically the story of it. So without further ado, we'll take it out and have some fun.
Okay, well, I picked this car up from a guy in New Jersey. I bought it off Craigslist, and I was kind of searching for, I wanted something in that like $15,000 to $20,000 range for my second car. I had a Subaru Legacy for my first car, non-turbo, and I wanted something that was a little faster, handled well, and really I got in the idea of liking these like high revving engines for some reason. I liked the idea of something that would, you know, 6K wasn't enough, 7K wasn't enough. I wanted something in that like 8 to 9K. I don't know, it was like a weird criteria for
you just climb through though, it's fun.
But something about that NA engine, the linear power band, I just liked the idea of it. So I was looking at like an S2000 and this, and an S2000 just isn't a very practical daily. You know, it's a convertible, it's, you know, 2 seats, a roadster, it's cool, but not something I want to drive every day. So I looked at, you know, the E46 M3, and I love the way it looked. I think they're just such a timeless car.
Yeah, no
you know,
doubt.
I think that, I don't think anyone's really going to argue with you that it's like a good looking car. Some people may not like it as much as others. People like newer stuff, older stuff, but I don't think there's anyone out there that's like a real hater of the E46 M3's looks.
It's true, it's very true.
So I kind of like that. I like that it looks newer than it is. People come up to me all the time and ask, you know, what year is it? And when I tell them it's an 04, they, you know, don't really believe me. But, and I just love the way the engine, you know, sounds. It just,
oh my god.
you know, it's so fun to just like rev through. It loves to be revved, you know, it comes on power and it just like feels good all the way through. But when I went to pick it up, I did not know how to drive stick. My first car was automatic. So that was my other criteria for buying a car. I wanted it to be stick. And you know, I got out there, went with my dad, and I was too scared to test drive the car. I hadn't really driven a fast car before, and I hadn't driven stick, and I certainly hadn't driven both. So I, you know, let my dad test drive it. I was in the back seat. The owner of the car was in the passenger seat. It didn't have these seats in it at the time. It had a stock gray leather interior. And I remember just sitting in the back, and my dad was like, yeah, the owner let him romp on it a little bit, and I was just like in awe.
In love, yeah.
You know, it was the first like fast car I've really ridden in, and the thought of owning it was, you know, amazing. So it was the first one I went to look at, and normally people say, like, you know, don't buy the first one, but this car was relatively low miles. It had 72,000 miles on it when I bought it.
Okay.
We're at about 87,000 miles now. I've had it for about 2 years. So I'm not really driving it a whole lot, but it was my daily up until recently. And yeah, I mean, it's just such a fun experience ever since. You know, I bought it, and you know, I still love it. I wouldn't get rid of it now for anything.
Yeah, and I mean, even with you know, 87,000 miles, I mean, this interior is just pristine. The exterior is pristine. Like, this car is so awesomely clean. It's amazing. Like, I've seen plenty of, I mean, we've all probably seen E46 M3s out there. It's a great car to see, but nothing sucks more than when it's just kind of like dirty and just grimy, or, you know, there's scratches and stuff. Like, seeing this car and just its prime, and it's just, it's amazing. It's so nice. What mods have you done?
Okay, so with the interior, it came with, like I said, like a bone stock, like gray interior.
Oh wow.
Which is, let me take this corner here, get a little bit of a grip.
Wow.
But yeah, the interior was a stock gray interior, which, you know, anyone that knows there's a fan of, you know, E46 M3s, I'm sure there's a few of you watching, know that the gray leather interior is like the worst one. It's unfortunate because it's not so much the seats or the leather, which is still the nice Napa BMW leather, but it's the dashboard. The top of the dash is black, and you probably can't see this, but the bottom of the dash is gray.
Everything's all black.
The whole, you know, the door cards are all gray, the carpet's gray, everything is gray. It's just a sea of boring. So, you know, luckily, you know, my roommate Nick at the time, who also has an E46 M3, he did like a swap on his interior where he had gray seats, but he swapped to black carpet, black dash. And as soon as I could get my hands on a black carpeted dash, I knew he had done it before. He helped me with the swap, and that was just, you know, it looked so much better. And then, you know, I got these seats from Europe. These are the OEM BMW CSL seats, which are really rare over here. I bought them from a guy in France who actually shipped them over. They came in these big boxes. I remember being so excited the day they came. It took forever, what I went through to get these seats. It took a really long time. I had to do a lot of, you know, negotiation with the seller, who was, I think in the end, kind of a cool guy, but it was a little bit sketchy with you know, the amount of money that these seats trade for, having to send it overseas, and waiting that long to get the seats.
It's a little nerve-wracking.
There was definitely a period of a few weeks where I really didn't think I was going to get the seats and I was going to get conned out of my money, but in the end, they came and I'm happy with them.
And they really do, like, they're very comfortable. I mean, we're both relatively, you know, sort of skinny guys, and we're similar build, but I mean, the shoulder, like, bolster right here is just, it just hugs you in place, and just going around that corner back there, they really hold you. The hip bolsters are nice too, but and the Alcantara on them is just awesome. I'm a sucker for that, so they're really great seats. So, and did you do the rear seats as well?
I did. The rear seats are also from a BMW M3 CSL. They're a lot lighter. The front seats, you know, I don't want to quote exact weights, but I want to say a stock BMW front seat and leather power is probably about just over 50 pounds. And these, I want to say, weigh, you know, closer to 30. That's with the rails on both seats.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, decent weight sitting on the front seats. The rears are also considerably lighter. They're Alcantara, not leather. They don't have the ski pass-through that folds down. So there's no rear access now, but the seats still fold down. There's just no little cubby that goes through.
And then, of course, you have the amazing wheels on this. Why don't you tell us about those?
So the Volks were kind of a bit of an impulse buy for me. My dream wheels were always, you know, mag blue Volk T37s on the carbon black. And, you know, I really wanted them. I was searching the forums for a while to find, you know, the set. I wanted a used set. I did not want to pay for brand new Volks. But I ended up, you know, sending a PM to a dealer on the forums, and, you know, I looked at them, I said, look, you know, if you had any in stock, you know, what kind of deal could you get me on them? And they actually did hook me up. They gave me a killer deal on a new set. And I thought about it for a few days, and I ended up just pulling the trigger on it. I really wanted a new set of tires I could use for autocross. So now I'm running Bridgestone RE71Rs, you know, square 265 all the way around.
Oh my God.
And it really changes the grip of the car having, you know, the same size wheels in the front and the back. I think my advice to any E46 M3 owner would be to go with a square setup. I know there's a lot of people that like the staggered for looks and concave. I understand that, but for handling balance, I think it completely changes the personality of the car.
Definitely.
The front end grip is just insane, and it doesn't really make the rear want to step out anymore either. I thought it would kind of shift more to kind of an oversteer tendency, but it really hasn't. It still has a really good feel.
And the stance of the car is just unreal. I mean, the front end of this thing is just so beefy. I mean, the front wheels, they just poke, and oh my God, the car just looks so meaty and beefy and just muscular. It's incredible looking, and the color of the wheels is really rare, right?
Yeah, mag blue is not a common color, and as far as I know, these aren't just regular T37s, so the T37 RTs. And as far as I know, you know, this is the only only E46 M3 that has, you know, mag blue T37 RTs on it so far. It's a new design for Volk. There's people running it in, you know, I think there's a red set that someone has, and I think there's like a black, like a kind of a jet black set, but no one else has mag blue that I know of. At least no one's else has posted pics of it. So it's kind of cool to be, you know, T37s are common wheel E46 M3s, but in mag blue RTs on, you know, this car, I think I'm the first one, so it's kind of cool.
And the colors really match each other really well. I mean,
the way the mag blue plays off the carbon black is great.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, just driving or riding along in the car right now, there's literally like nothing rattling, nothing feels out of shape or out of sync. The car just feels so perfect and so well put together. It's awesome. It's really, really a pleasant experience. Contrary to some E46s I've been in which case, you know, things are rattling or just kind of out of sync. And again, that attests to this car being in really good shape and in good condition. Everything is just perfect. It feels so smooth, and just hitting that bump back there even. Nothing rattles. Like, the feedback from the road is great too.
You'll feel the car skip a little bit, but yeah, I mean, the car's held up really well. It's aged nicely, and I think that's kind of testament to BMW's build quality, especially in the mid-2000s. Maybe people talk about your reliability and the engine servicing, the maintenance costs, and I understand all that. I've gone through a little bit of that with this car, but nothing major has ever broken. It's never left me stranded. It's never, I've never had any major problems with it. I've just done the scheduled maintenance, bit the bullet, paid the service cost as much as I can myself, and you really can run one of these cars for a relatively tight budget as long as you're prepared to spend money on quality parts to keep the car running.
Yeah, exactly. You can't cut corners in something like this.
No, right.
Of course, yeah, if you invest the money up front in the preventative maintenance, it definitely goes a long way from saving you from suffering terrible repair costs or breakdowns. So definitely do that if you end up getting something like this. But from what I can tell right now, it's really a great car. And even still, I've seen so many on Craigslist with 150, 60,000 miles. It's crazy. The cars, they can go that length, as long as the owner is willing to put in the effort and money to keep it up. I mean, it's really pretty crazy that something like this is able to sustain such a long-lived life. So it's really nice to see that.
Absolutely. I mean, these engines really run forever. I think, as long as they're, like I said, it's just that scheduled maintenance, keep doing your valve adjustments, you make sure you bulletproof the Vanos system.
Yeah.
And it really is a great iron block engine that can, can take boost if you want to supercharge it, or have the money for a turbo. But even if you just keep it NA and just drive it. I mean, the car likes to be driven too. I'm convinced this engine likes to rev. You don't keep it at 2K. It likes to stay around like 2,700 to 3,000 RPMs cruising around. And that way, if you get on it, you have like a little something behind it.
Yeah,
it's not just so like it's kind of dead below 3K. It really comes alive above 5K though. That's where it really likes to be.
And what's the rev line in this car?
It's 8,000 RPM stock. However, with the tune that I'm running, it'll let me go to about 8,400, 8,450 RPM.
Wow. Oh my God. That's awesome. All right, guys, I'm going to take the E46 out for a spin now. We're on a nice back road. So this is my first time driving any BMW M car. Pretty much my first time, I think, driving an E46. So this will be very, very nice experience to do it in basically the best one there is. So, okay, the clutch isn't too bad.
No, it's easy to modulate. It's pretty linear. It doesn't have that new cars have this springy thing now.
Yeah,
the last quarter of the clutch pedal is I don't know. It kind of has a little bit of a spring to it. Some people like that. I don't.
I don't like that either. This, it feels like you're working the clutch, not like my car, my Mustang. The spring is so powerful, and
kicks it.
Yeah, it kicks it a little bit, and it's so heavy you just can't really feel the clutch. This you get that you almost feel the clutch grabbing. It's very nice.
Yeah, down low, if you get on it, definitely wait until about I'd say 3,500 revs is really
it really gets up.
Floor it. Yeah, if you floor it down low, sometimes it'll do this thing where it doesn't buck, but it has this weird I don't know. It just doesn't like to be given too much gas down low. The engine likes revs.
Gotcha. As I say, even with the clutch, it really just wants to be giving gas, shifting and stuff in between, just a little bit, just to nudge it up.
Oh yeah, for sure. The revs drop decently quick, even though the flywheel is surprisingly heavy. Yeah, it feels really good leaning on it in the corners. It's just
it just really just pulls through.
The front axle grip is just so good, and these tires should be decent at the temp now.
That's awesome. The sound is just awesome. And that's one thing me and Brent were saying is there's so many raspy, terrible sounding E46 videos on YouTube of just M3s in general. And this one sounds so good, man.
Yeah, I've always had a bone to pick with all the E46 M3 reviews on YouTube. And just the sound just isn't there, but
yeah.
I don't know, it's the headers that really make the big difference. It needs a header and a good muffler combination.
So smooth.
It'll still have a little bit of that metallic rasp, but it kind of turns into more of an aggressive, race car-like sound.
Yeah. It's a good rasp, not the terrible,
You get a little bit of an induction noise too there from the individual throttle bodies.
Yeah.
So you open up around like, you know, 4,000, 5,000 revs.
Yeah, it definitely thrives up top, like even at like 4,000, just like.
It does. It kicks you back a little bit.
It really does, man. This is incredible.
The torque is, it's not like a high peak torque number, but it keeps the torque the entire way from about 3,500 RPM to nearly redline. It really does not trail off at all. It's a perfectly flat torque curve. I always thought the dyno of one of these cars is almost like exactly what you'd want an NA engine dyno to look like.
Yeah,
you know, obviously nice you could make more power, you know, if you could make it a little bit steeper, it'd be good, but just the way the graph looks is just really smooth and really flat for the torque.
And another thing me and Brent were saying is, you know, before I really got to experience an M3 sort of up close and personal, I didn't really understand the love for these cars. You know, this car really has like a cult following anyone would agree with. And I always just thought, you know, oh, it's probably just another 3 Series just with a powerful engine, and just, I mean,
makes you smile, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, everything is so different about it. I mean, most the 3 Series, like in the E46 Ranger, like I was saying, sort of rattly and just, you know, it's not really anything too crazy. So I was just like, okay, maybe it's just the same thing quality-wise, but this car, everything just feels so perfect. And after putting your foot into the floor, that's the game changer right there. I mean, I love these now. This is incredible.
I think the key with the E46 is the feel of the car. You know, the way everything, to me, the way the steering feels like how you want a sports car steering
everything
to feel.
Is so
you know, the brake has good bite. You know, the gas pedal is, you know, really responsive. Everything is kind of all about feel. This car has to make more power, but I don't know if there's a whole lot of cars out there that just feel better to drive.
Yeah, this car, everything is just perfectly working together. It's really great.
It's a nice S right here.
Yeah.
This is like the best corner right here in Marengo. This is a great road.
Definitely, man.
I do like, you know, we have the windows up right now, and you do get that nice induction noise out of this engine, you know?
Yeah, you can sort of hear the throatiness, like
like a lot of the noise we're hearing, honestly, is coming from the front of the car. We get a little bit coming from the back, but
yeah,
this is a
like
great stretch. But yeah.
Wow. Dude, up top, it just keeps pulling and pulling and pulling.
Oh yeah, it makes power up top. You know, on the dyno, you know, the car revved, I think the highest I've seen it's like just above, you know, 8,400, like 8,416 RPM. And it made power up there. You know, it's almost one of those things where I'm sure durability past that 8,500 mark for sure goes downhill longevity. But if you can somehow build this motor, I'm convinced that it could rev up to 9K, maybe even more, and still make power up there for sure.
The steering is so direct, it's like crazy.
It's not overly heavy, but it has really good feel.
Like, this is, I actually really would like one of these now. Like, that's so fun, man. This is really an incredible driver's car.
Josh's car, did you feel a throttle response? Like how I've driven, my roommate has a 335i.
Yeah,
it's a Dynan, and I've driven his car, and you know, it's a lot faster than this car, make no bones about it. But when you press on the gas pedal, it has that little bit of like, you press it and then it's like a wave comes out.
Yeah,
you press the pedal.
The wave, because the turbo sort of
just wait for them to spool up.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Once, you know, I have to say a lot of turbo cars sort of have a mushy pedal feel because the turbos are trying to catch up, and it's not a good feeling. Josh's car felt great, I think, for a turbo car, but it's not like this where it's just, you know, immediate, just like that, just thrust of torque is just incredible.
Right.
This thing is so fast, like, and Brent said it made 315 at the wheels, and it's something about it. I mean, it's such a light car. It's just, it feels so strong and just lively.
Yeah, well-maintained engine with headers and a tune really does wonders for this, you know, this car.
Yeah, definitely.
It really wakes it up. You know, even stock, you know, they're great, but you know, you get rid of the cats and the headers and get a set of nice long tube headers and a tune. That's all you need.
It actually just feels insane. Like the up top, it's just so strong. The way it just pulls is just like, it's crazy.
The manual really is, you know, a great transmission for this car too. The SMG, I mean, you know, I hope you get to drive one and, you know, feel how different it is, but SMGs are great once tuned, but I think that the manual trans for this car really is the correct one.
I think it's great. I would like to try out Nick's SMG at some point, just to sort of compare. We should probably do a comparison video. That'd be great.
Yeah, comparison video would be awesome. I mean, I've been lucky to drive Nick's car, and it feels cool. Although it's odd for me being so used to shifting myself.
And
yeah, I want to push the clutch pedal in every time I come to a stop because everything feels the same. It looks the same, but it just has the paddles.
Yeah, I'm blown away. This is really a fun car. Really a great car all around.
Yeah, thanks, man.
For sure. Oh my god.
It just grips and grips and grips. That front axle just won't give up.
That's insane. My car would have been in a tree. And that wasn't even pushing. I'm sure you'd fucking take it all the way.
I definitely rip it. The car just feels lively and on its toes. I just test drove a new S3 just the other day, and that car on this same road actually, and that car felt awesome, but you know, the all-wheel drive, really, you can feel it kind of keeping the car stable and doing the work in the corners. It was a great car, fast, excellent car, but this is definitely a little bit more of a driver's car. You know, I talked to the salesman, I said, you know, like, the S3 I think is easier to drive fast. It's easier for just anyone to jump in and drive it quickly. But this is kind of a car that the more you're with it, the more you bond with it, the more you engage with it, the better it feels. It just rewards you every time you get in it.
The car just wants to climb in the revs. It's got such a good soul to it, such a good spirit in it. And, you know, so many newer cars are lacking in that with, you know, automatic transes and stuff. And, I mean, the dual clutch is unmatched because it shifts so fast, but nothing beats just downshifting.
Doing it yourself, exactly.
Yeah, it's just incredible, man.
And even though it's an 04, I mean, you can kind of tell the interior, like, it's not a bad looking interior, but it is pretty basic. I mean, like, as we're looking around here, there's not exactly, you know, we don't have like a GPS or any kind of fancy heads-up display, but
yeah.
I mean, it's not bad. We have everything we need.
Exactly. Yeah, no, all you need for, you know, something to drive and have fun in.
I think the things like in the interior will age pretty well too. Like if you look at the gauges, they look kind of like
the gauges look
classic,
like
the gray-faced M gauges. They're not too dated. You know, the radio is kind of well integrated. Nothing in here looks too. You know, we get a little bit of hint of the early 2000s, but it's not going to be like some other cars from that same era where you just look at it. You know, they have that clunky-looking airbag steering wheel.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is so like well put together. I love the steering wheel too.
I think the interior, like the exterior of the car, has aged well.
No doubt. All right, guys, we're basically pulling back to our home base here, so this pretty much wraps up this video. But I really have to say the E46 M3 has completely blown me away. I really understand why there is such a cult following with it. and I really, really like it a lot, especially this one in particular. Brent, thank you so much for letting me take it out for a spin and have some fun with it.
Sure, no problem.
You know, this really is a beautiful example of one, and hopefully YouTube enjoys it as well. I'm sure they will. If you guys have any questions or comments, be you know, sure to put those down below in the comments section. Be sure to like this video as well, as it really helps the channel grow. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more awesome videos and reviews. I think we can definitely do an SMG versus manual video at some point soon if you guys would be interested in seeing that. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care.